Hello everyone, in this video I will show you some best Steam VR games in 2020, but before we start this video make sure you subscribe to your channel Games Down and hit the bell icon for more gaming videos. So without any further ado, let's start this video. The first game of this video is Vacation Simulator. Vacation Simulator is the latest game to come from developer Alchemy Labs, best known for the hilarious and quirky VR title Job Simulator. Just like its predecessor, the game has you participating in a series of mini-games and activities at the request of cute robots attempting to replicate everyday human life. Things often go left as the robot's interpretation of human activities is often ridiculously misguided. Next up we have Blade and Sorcery. Blade and Sorcery is a medieval fantasy sandbox game that's structured around melee combat and designed from the ground up for VR. The game has some of the best controls and realistic visuals you'll find in a VR title while not sacrificing its gameplay. Most of the game is centered on defeating groups of enemies in creative and gruesome ways by using swords, axes, bows, and even spells. You can play as a warrior, ranger, and sorcerer, with access to an arsenal of different weapons and skills to help slay enemies. Next up we have Beat Saber. Beat Saber is a sword-slashing rhythm game that has you slicing blue and red cubes with your sabers in tune with the beat of the song. In addition to building up your multiplier by hitting blocks, obstacles appear in the game that you have to dodge to keep your combo. A neat feature of the game is the ability to add custom stages and tracks and share them with other players online. The two-handed, sword-wielding mechanic makes great use of VR controls and, if anything, gives us an excuse to pretend we are master swordsmen. Next up we have Hot Dogs, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. HHH is less of a standalone game and more of a collection of arcade experiences. Think of it like a VR sandbox that filled with an insane amount of different guns you can wield and plenty of bipedal hot dogs that need killing. You'll spend most of your time exploring the game different modes, of which there are many. For example, the mode Ache and Hold has you infiltrating guarded rooms, stealing loot, and holding your position for a while. Next up we have Sprint Vector. Sprint Vector is an arcade racing game played in VR that has you using gestures to control your character movement. You'll be competing against enemy AI and other players online, in races which put your parkour skills to the ultimate test. While power-ups prevent the game from ever taking itself too seriously, there is a steep learning curve with mastering sprint vector techniques. Speed is gained by swinging your arms, turns are performed by braking with one arm and still moving with the other, and wall climbing is executed by reaching up over your head. Next up we have I Expect You to Die. As the title suggests, I Expect You to Die places you in several tense encounters where death is imminent, and the only thing that can save you is your spy instincts. You play as an international spy tasked with defeating an evil corporation. However, to do so, you will first need to have your abilities tested by completing a variety of escape room scenarios. Challenges range from defusing a bomb to escaping a sinking vessel, to crafting a chemical weapon. Next up we have Gorn, is a VR gladiator simulator made by Free Lives, the developers of Brute Force and Genital Jousting. The game has you enter an arena where you will have to face a myriad of fierce and formidable warriors. Combat is fully physics-driven, resulting in some satisfyingly brutal executions as you tear through enemies with swords, messes, bows, nunchucks, throwing knives, giant hammers, or just your bare hands. Next up we have Red Matter. Red Matter is a sci-fi puzzle adventure game that has your character traveling to a moon orbiting Saturn in the midst of a Cold War with a rival state named Volgravia. You are tasked with infiltrating a secret base and solving a variety of puzzles to progress through the story, which extends beyond what you expect. One of Red Matter highlights is its UI, which is designed perfectly for VR. Controls are mapped to buttons that make sense for headset play, and puzzles are designed in ways that keep you engaged with the game environments. Next up we have Pavlov VR. Pavlov VR is a multiplayer military shooter that shares a lot of similarities with CSGO. The game is centered on its main game mode, Search and Destroy, which has you competing against other squads. Matches are fast-paced, with combat feeling surprisingly realistic for VR. A lot of VR multiplayer shooters tend to have extremely low player bases, which can make finding a match annoying. Next up we have Budget Cuts. Budget Cuts is a VR stealth game that has you trying to escape the offices of the mega conglomerate Transcorp, after learning they dispatched robot soldiers to take you out. Your only means for survival are deadly throwing knives and your teleportation ability, which allows you to search through areas where enemies may be patrolling. The game features satisfying close-quarters combat and engaging stealth mechanics. Budget Cuts are great for anyone that likes action games and DOS and mind getting robot blood on themselves. So that's it guys, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to your channel Games Down and press the bell icon for more gaming videos.